Everybody, it's Brian from brianqblog.wordpress.com. Check it out for the articles about video games, movies. Every now and again, I'll do sports. I really haven't done much about it this like in the past couple months. But once the NBA finals roll around and are done, and hockey's done, and baseball's done, and football comes around, that I'll be doing much more reporting on. But for right now, we just do video games. And if you don't know, which you should if you know anything about video games pretty much. You know E3, the giant convention where Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo not so much, but pretty much any developer, any studio worth noting comes to E3 with these big announcements for the video games that they got coming out for the year and next year as well. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. I got a list here of the video games announced today, just today, June 9th, from both EA, Microsoft, a little bit of Sony in here. So let's get to it. We got Alien Isolation, that we already knew if you don't know. Alien Isolation is more of a horror game than the previous one. I forgot the last Alien game that nobody really liked. This one everyone seems to be a fan of, and it looks good. They showed a little demo of it. Very, very nice. We got Assassin's Creed Unity, the next iteration in the Assassin's Creed franchise. It's taking place in the French Revolution. The big thing about this one is, of course, it looks great. It looks amazing. Every Assassin's Creed game pretty much looks the part. But the big difference about this one is that they're toting 5,000 NPCs at any given moment on screen. So what that means is, if you've played Assassin's Creed, you understand that, well, one, you get to blend into the audience or to the crowd to escape your certain missions. And also, you can know how stubborn it is to run through the streets and have just so many people in your way that you're bumping into them and you're, just knocking people over, and then next thing you know, your target's gone, or the people behind you are now up to you and they're beating you up. So that was a big worry when I first heard that, but then I saw it in motion, and I'll tell you right now, the game looks great, but the crowd dynamic, granted it was a demo, so there were still a couple collision mishaps that happened, but the game with the collision and all that taken for granted, it looked great. The system works great. And for once, a big gripe for me with the Assassin's Creed series, first the gameplay, having that one button that pretty much controls every action you make. They'll probably still be doing that, but another big gripe was that when you were playing an assassin, yeah, you're in this time period getup, but you're still wearing a hood, you're still wearing all white, you still look like an assassin, you stand out. In this game, I think they made a conscious decision to make the guy, or to make the assassin, not stand out as much. And you can tell that when the character drops down, because we have no idea who the character is, when he drops down into the crowd, he's wearing a plain, it was a navy blue or like a tealish hoodie, but he doesn't stand out from the crowd. He's very easily missed. If the camera wasn't focused on him, I'm sure you would not be able to see him amongst the sea of people that they got going on here. So it looks good for what it is. Assassin's Creed, you can now go inside a lot of buildings. They said there's about 10,000 monuments, cathedrals, just houses, things that you can go into. And to bring it down to a better ratio, for every 4 houses or every 4 structures, you can go into 1. So imagine that plus 10,000. So it looks good. Really excited. I'm really stoked about it. And yeah, they showed 4-player co-op. It looked great with the co-op, so you could just run in, and it reminded me much, very similar to the Ninja Turtles, because they all got their different colors, and they're all doing these acrobatic moves, and they're all doing these ninja takedowns at the same time. It just looked really cool. I'm digging it, and I will be suckered in like I am with every Assassin's Creed game, and I will probably in the middle of it be like, why the hell did I get it? But hey, I'm stuck. I'm stuck with that franchise. I'm gonna get into it. Next, we got Battlefield Hardline. New Battlefield. The new multiplayer system has it so that it's more of like a cops and robbers, where it's 2 teams and they're both moving through a structure, and the structure opens up more as the match unfolds. We've seen Battlefield do this a little bit, right? Because in the last Battlefield game, in multiplayer matches, there would be in the middle of these matches, out of nowhere, either a building falls or a giant ship comes into it, and then that changes the dynamic of the game a little bit. And it just looks like they're taking that to a whole nother level in this game. Looks great. Battlefield always does look great, so, oh shit, don't want to bother with that. So yeah, Battlefield Hardline looking really good. Mass Effect 4, they showed a little bit of a developer diary kind of thing, where they're showing what they are planning to do with Mass Effect 4. Not much gameplay was shown, really not anything. They showed a little bit of costume design. No story information, just showing you that they showed a little bit of the new planets, and again, it looks really good, but it's way too early to decide. But it's just good to know BioWare is still making Mass Effect, so I'm digging that. Along with Mass Effect, though, BioWare is still doing Dragon Age Inquisition. That they showed a trailer for. They showed that game off very well. If you like Dragon Age, you're gonna like Inquisition most likely. We got Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. They showed more of that. Looks great. Game looks fine. It's Call of Duty. If you like Call of Duty, you'll like this one. You got, let's see, Evolve showed off their new monster. If you don't know what Evolve is, it's that 4 versus 1 multiplayer from the guys who made Left 4 Dead. It's a crazy dynamic, right? I mean, 4 versus 1, and when I first saw the concept of Evolve, which it's 4 people, 4 humans essentially. You got an assault guy, support, medic, and a trapper, I guess, or a hunter, and they go up against the one, which is this giant monster. And the whole thing is, as the monster, you start off in this like little forest, and the monster eats these animals and evolves to become bigger, so he could take on the 4 players. When I first heard that concept, when I first saw the demo, I didn't know how much. Like, it sounded fun, but I didn't know how much gameplay or repetition would like just get real quick. Like, the game sounded like it would get really old really quick. But they showed another demo here at E3, and it looked amazing. They showed off a new monster called the Kraken that can fly. Previously, they just showed the Goliath, which was a giant hulking creature, and how it just destroyed things. And now it's cool to see that there's different versions of the monsters. And also they showed how the terrain and the animals that are in this forest are also a danger to the hunters and the monster. So that just gives it a little bit more of a replayability, I guess, But I'm digging it. It looks really nice. Evolve is coming out in October, I think, so I'm definitely getting that. Let's see. We got Far Cry 4. It was announced about, I think, a week back. They showed gameplay for it today at E3. Looks great. If you like Far Cry 3, which everyone, I think, did, Far Cry 4, it goes to, I guess, the same path where they have that one iconic character that everyone's kind of behind. And here's this guy with, like, a purple shirt. He's probably going to be just as easily received or as well received, as that Voss character from Far Cry 3. Then we got some sports games, FIFA 15 and Madden 15, as well as NHL 15 were announced. They all look amazing. That was the thing, right? I mean, we were wondering, because granted, these consoles debuted last year, and there were sports games for it, right? FIFA came out, Madden came out, NHL, this is the first NHL game coming out for it. But for every sports games will always look great on the consoles. I think those games specifically utilize the hardware to the best possible, to the best of their capabilities every year. And Madden, while it doesn't look that overhauled, it does look really, really good. You can now see wrinkles in the jerseys. The guys look dirty. As the game goes on, they look a lot dirtier. There's mud on their arms. Facial expressions are different now. And if you, they were showing it was a very short little trailer, but they showed the faces in the helmets. They look like they're players, and that's something that is very, very welcomed, man. I mean, how many times do you do a replay? You want to do close up, and next thing you know, you're like, that looks nothing like Des Bryant, or that looks nothing like Colin Kaepernick. But it looks like they've changed that, and it looks better for that. FIFA 15 as well. Everyone looks really good in that, not just Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Everyone looked really good in that. NHL 15 probably looked the best out of these 3 sports titles. And I'm not a big hockey fan. I know that New York Rangers, who are not far away from me, are doing something that they haven't done in a while. So I'm kind of riding that bandwagon. But NHL 15, I might pick that up just because it looked great. And people have told me always that hockey games, especially hockey video games, EA-wise, are really fun. So I might pick this one up. Let's see. What else? That really kind of narrows it down. There was the new Tomb Raider game, Rise of Lara Croft, was announced. No gameplay. It was just a cinematic. But again, they're just pushing along with the sudden increase in attention to the Tomb Raider franchise that was given about 2 years back. And in this version, we see, if you're liking the story of it, it looks like it doesn't pick up far from the events of the last game, where at the end of the last game she picks up the 2 guns, and boom, that's Lara Croft, the one we know. This one, she seems to stay away from the two guns, and that bow and arrow came back, and it seems like that's going to be her weapon, her go-to weapon from now on. I dig that. She seems to be a lot tougher. She's got like cuts and bruises all over her arms. She's always shaky and stuff like that. And I dig the concept. This is a girl who's addicted to this adrenaline, adventurous lifestyle, and she can't get enough of it. Tomb Raider, dig it. And what else we got? Oh, they got this is the last one for the list right now. Expect some more tomorrow. They have announced Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. For a while now, Lucas Games, because they went out of business and they lost a bunch of properties, I think about 3 years back or 2 years back. And I remember the last E3, I think last year, last year, where they announced that Star Wars game that everyone was so excited for, that D514 or something like that, where you played a bounty hunter in the slums. And I dug it. I like the concept. Anything new with Star Wars, I'll try to give it a shot. But Battlefront was always a series that I was a big fan of, especially when I was younger. I used to go over to a friend's house and play Battlefront for like hours. And they showed Battlefront off. It looked really good, and I'll buy it when it comes out, man. So yeah, those are the games again. I'll just run it down real quick. Alien Isolation, Assassin's Creed Unity, Battlefield Hardline, Mass Effect 4, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Crackdown. Yeah, Crackdown's announced. Dragon Age Inquisition, Evolve, Far Cry 4, FIFA 15, Madden 15, Star Wars Battlefront, and the last game I got on this list is Lego Batman 3. It was a good game. I play the Lego games every now and again with my nieces. No gameplay was shown for that. Just a cool little funny cutscene with Batman and Superman and the rest of the Justice League. Again, guys, that was it for today. Whoa, sorry for the shaky earthquake. Sorry for that, but that's it for today. Check back with me tomorrow on some more news for E3. Granted, I'm sure will be a lot more games. And regarding to the article that I wrote last week, we'll see if Last Guardian makes an appearance, because Sony needs something to do with that title. They need to get that title out here for the masses. So check back. I'm a Sony guy myself, so we'll see what happens with Sony. Take it easy, fellas. Take it easy, women. Peace out. Thank you.